Okay, so this is in response to the article that I posted yesterday and my reaction to it, which is on this particular page. I decided to do the video that would be completely an easier process, I hope, than typing it all up. And I wanted to go ahead and get this out there. So this is my follow-up to that. After discussing it with some people and seeing some of your reactions and everything, I just wanted to come back and bring my thoughts to you. Um, Before I start, I just want to say that I completely affirm this woman in what she decided to do for her marriage. She has every right, and I recognize that she has every right to do what it is that she needs to do to make her marriage work. If she were to come see me as a counselor, I would not try to persuade her one way or the other. That is not my job. So I affirm her right as a woman to do whatever it is that she needs to do. Um, Few disclaimers. One, if you're one of those people who thinks that single people or single women don't have the right to comment, on marital issues or marriage problems or whatever, then you might want to go ahead and stop now. I am single and I am full of opinions, especially about this. So that's what this is going to be. If that annoys you, then you might want to go ahead and hit the stop button. Um, Another thing I would like, another disclaimer is that I am pro-marriage. I believe it glorifies God. I believe in love. I believe in long, faithful, lasting marriage. I believe marriage can be work. I believe that there are times when, yeah, it gets hard, and no, you can't run away. So I just want to put that out there, that yes, I believe in all of that. And again, just affirming her decision and what she decided to do for her marriage. I've had a lot of, with my response and my reaction, I've had a lot of for better or for worse thrown at me. I get it. I understand. I have probably been to as many weddings as you have. I have heard it over and over again. I have seen marriages go through tough times and work out. I absolutely understand that that for worse part covers a whole lot. I get it. I understand. And I think that some people thought that I was saying that she should automatically divorce him. And that was not the position that I was coming from. But I'll get into that a little bit later. Excuse me. I believe that this was so heavy on my mind because I am currently in a theories of marriage and family class. In fact, I'm sure that that's why it was on my mind. And one of the theories we covered a few weeks ago from the marriage and family perspective was feminist marriage theory. So something that I read in there kind of stuck with me. It was kind of hard to read, and I think I didn't want to believe it, although I understood where they were coming from. And the gist of it was basically saying that women in normal marriages are often left unfulfilled while the men are doing great. You know, they're wonderful. They're getting everything that they want and more, but the women are not. And so I have a passage that I do want to read from this. This is a passage that has kind of stuck with me. It's from this book, Therapy and Practice, Theory and Practice of Family Therapy and Counseling. And I'm reading from the Feminist Family Therapy chapter. We're talking about the normal or adequate marriage. Women in the adequate, also called normal families, were overwhelmed with responsibility. And let me just throw this in there. They were doing a study on women in these marriages. So women in the adequate families were overwhelmed with responsibility, obese, psychosomatically ill, and sexually dissatisfied. The men in these same families were functioning well and were not sexually dissatisfied. Thus, an adequate family consists of a husband and children who are functioning adequately and a wife who is not. So that's kind of been on my mind. And so when I kept getting a lot of, for better or for worse, and this woman, in this particular situation, in my mind, it was just like she has to do the for better or worse, but he did not. And I know that that is not what you all said. I'm quite sure that you all think and believe that a man should honor that part of the vow as well. But in this situation, only one person did for months on end. I want to acknowledge that I believe that I feel so strongly about this just because of the kids involved. I think that if it was just the wife, then okay, do what you have to do. You're putting yourself in that situation. You're voluntarily suffering in silence. Do what you have to do. But the kids, they don't have that emotional maturity to end their suffering. And they clearly saw him acting out and clearly reacted according to the original article. So I have a problem with that. Um, Also, my second issue with that is, or with how she handled it, was this. Her husband came and told her that he wanted to leave, that he didn't love her anymore. As a wife, she knew that her husband was going through a tough time. She knew that he was feeling some sort of way about, I don't know if she said he lost his job or there was an employment shift on his end. So she knew he was going through a tough time. I don't blame her for not believing that. Your husband is going through a tough time. He's trying to run away from that. So you choose not to believe that he doesn't love you. You know that he's going through that. Okay, I get it. After I, Tasha, say, you know what, I don't believe you. I know X, Y, and Z. Let's work together. I'm here to support you, or showing him, rather, that you're there to support him, being there for him, go through that tough time. Absolutely, whatever. But that's not what happened. What happened was that she told him that, and then she voluntarily gave him this responsible separation contract, or whatever you want to call it. Um, that right there threw me off. Not because it was a separation, but because she was giving him permission to do X, Y, and Z, including possibly dating other women while still living under the same roof. Again, if it was just her, do what you got to do. It's only affecting you. But you have children, and your children are seeing this. And her children picked up on it. That is where I lost the agreement with her. Um, he came home late. I forgot if it said he didn't come home some nights or not, but he definitely came home later and later, didn't call. He missed out on family functions. Again, this is a point that I have a problem, because not only are you purposely hurting me, but you are purposely hurting our children. You are neglecting your duties as a husband, and worse, you're neglecting your duties as to your children. They didn't do anything to you. Whether you love me or not, they're still your children, and they deserve to not see, one, you neglecting them, two, you disrespecting their mother, your wife. I have a problem with it. I think that was irresponsible. And even more than that, I think that on the part of that woman, I think that her end of suffering movement ended up being a suffering in silence. She didn't handle it to where she could address what she was going through. I understand choosing not to wallow in suffering. I get it. That's not healthy either. But hearing your husband say, I don't love you anymore, I can imagine that can be a little hurtful. Um, Again, no, I'm not suggesting that she blow up and go off the handle or whatever. Choosing to not believe that, okay, but don't act like it. I mean, maybe it didn't hurt her. Maybe she was fine with it, but she even acknowledged that she had bad days, but when those bad feelings started coming up, she pushed them aside. I think that's very unhealthy. Um, and because I brought this particular story to my class tonight, and we discussed it, and I was so grateful that we did, because I was kind of sort of feeling like I was the odd man out in how I was thinking about this. Again, because I just kept getting the for better or worse, et cetera, et cetera. And, just kind of saying that she was covered under the for better or worse. And my class, we had a nice, healthy discussion about it. And it was a mix of people, different ethnicities, different backgrounds, cultural backgrounds. Some women in there have been married a long time. Some women in there are basically newlyweds. There are some men in there. Absolutely. I mean, there was not one person in the class who disagreed with what I thought. And I didn't impose that on them. I threw it out there, and they kind of chimed in. So I didn't need to do this anymore. I thought I really needed to do this. But after I got that and thinking, oh, well, Tasha, you aren't crazy, I didn't necessarily have to do this. But I did want to go ahead and put out there that that is where my problem came in. I have nothing to do with this woman's life. I know it doesn't matter if I have a problem with it or not, but still, that is where my issue came in. It's just the fact that she has children who are seeing firsthand their father acting out, their father neglecting them or his duties as a father, and then disrespecting her. And the other part of that is not dealing with it. She's refusing to deal with the fact that she's hurt. I'm pretty sure she's going to end up in somebody's office for therapy at some point. But again, maybe she won't. At the end of the day, you choose what you got to do. I think people do what they have to do for their marriage. I think that's wonderful. I still say that it wouldn't be Tasha. It would not be me. No, I don't have to throw a fit. But at the point when I tell you that I am here for you, at the point when I show you I am here for you, and you set out to purposely hurt me, yes, I have the right to say, okay, you know what? We can separate, and yes, you can go ahead and move out now. You can deal with that, whatever it is that you need to. If you, I'm here, but if you won't accept that, I'm not gonna let you. I'm not gonna let you disrespect me, and I'm definitely not gonna let you disrespect me in front of our children. That's where I'm coming from, guys. Again, I thank you all so much for reading. I thank you all so much for your comments. Um, I guess this was one of those situations where I just had to kind of keep on thinking about it and run it by a few people, just to make sure that I'm not crazy. Judging from your likes on my opinion on the last post and judging from the discussion that we had in class and what some of you have personally told me, I'm good now. So again, thank you so much. I really appreciate the feedback. I appreciate your reading. Peace.